Hello, everybody. I'm Grandmaster Peter Heine Nielsen, and welcome to the sixth episode of the Chicken Chess Club podcast, where I'm once again joined by my dear friends, Grandmasters Jan Gustafsson and Laurent Fressinet, to talk about the exciting world of chess. So, Laurent, tell me, how has your week been since we
Amazing
spoke last
intro,
time?
Peter. Congratulations.
That sounded like Ziri, but it was actually Peter, right? Like, sounded like it was computer generated.
Uh,
I was
yeah,
aiming for
so
that.
my week, I'm right now in Marseille, which is one of the nicest city in France, and there is a lot of chess activities. Nice club, Marseille Échecs. So I gave a simul yesterday to kids after a kids tournament. And tomorrow I will give a masterclass, and in the meantime I have sightseeing. So I'm taking from my sightseeing time to talk to you guys. So I hope you enjoy it.
On behalf of the chess community, I think we should all thank you for your tireless work as an ambassador for the game, inspiring the next generation. It's
Thank you.
very, very generous.
So how is right? Yeah, you are stuck in Hamburg, right?
I'm in Hamburg. I played German Cup over the weekend. I have some more exciting stories about German trains. I played our
Oh,
boy Luki
how
yesterday.
did it go?
Um,
Draw.
Draw. But our team won, so it's all good. Other than that, not much happening. This chess professional life, it's a grind. Like I travel to some village every Friday. Then I play chess on Saturday and Sunday. Then I travel back.
So you
It's
played two
rough.
games. What,
Very
what,
rough.
what happened? It was semi-final and final?
No, I think
So
there's
you
one
won
more
you won
round coming,
Saturday,
so
or?
it was the intermediate round.
Okay. Good.
Yes,
So a good weekend for you and the team, yeah?
good. Yeah, great success.
We're talking German Cup here, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're still expecting Peter in the finals because his Dietz out team made it as well.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, I have actually played your guys, but in the semifinal before and such. Anyway, you probably also really want to hear about my week, and well, as usual, it started pretty well with quite some golf, but unfortunately, it made me very tired. So when I came back from golf, and I was sort of thinking about FIDE, I suddenly lost balance in my living room, and then well, I didn't know really what to do, so I was trying to sort of maybe I could fall backwards. I quickly looked to the left. I could see the sofa standing there, and our sofa has a sort of nice cushion on top that I could just sit down on. But you should understand, I looked to the left, so I was only getting what's on my left side, and I didn't manage to remember that our sofa is not symmetrical. So the spot right behind me didn't have a cushion. So I ended simply falling backwards down on the floor and getting some physical injuries. So chess politics can be dangerous. But no, I can say that by now I'm recovered, and I'm in Denmark with Magnus, who's playing this online tournament. And well, yesterday we even played paddle tennis. Well, we played 3 against 1, and me and Magnus' parents lost 6-0, 6-0, 6-1 to Magnus in paddle. But I think we thought that was a pretty good result.
It's part of
So
the job, right?
generally, sorry?
It's part of the job, right?
Yeah, more or less so, right? I mean, I agree. I think actually once during the London candidates, I decided to take a risky 3-point shot to beat him in basketball, and it actually went in. So, but generally I lose all the time, but it comes pretty naturally, I'll have to admit. But things are great here. We are at the north of Denmark. There is the beach and good food and stuff like this, so we are enjoying ourselves, or at least I am. And he's asleep now, so I'm also using paid work time to do a podcast. So pretty good stuff, I would say.
Just to recap, you were standing in your living room after an intense session of golf, and you thought about FIDE, and you fell.
Correct.
Okay,
That was
just
yeah,
to
that's the
make sure.
summary.
I got
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
How
You
many
got it,
times
yeah.
a day do you think about FIDE, Peter?
Okay.
Let's say average.
I don't think we should sort of count it in days. I think it's an hourly thing, right? No. I mean,
But what do you think more about, like ranking from 1 to 3? FIDE, Giri, Carlsen.
Well, it depends. I mean, I think a lot about chess openings too. So it's really a complicated mix, I will say. I would say basically, well, your subconscious are doing these kind of things, right? And it's hard to sort of, I guess we all, we go out in the nature, but what we really do is that we are thinking about nuances in the Berlin.
With
right?
one edge for,
That's pretty common.
We all go out in the nature and think about nuances in the Berlin.
Yes.
I can't speak for Laurent, but actually I can. We don't do that.
No, okay. Well, that's what I do, and sort of. Sometimes actually pretty good ideas materialize and such. So
in the forest, yeah, you have pretty good
stuff
ideas.
like this, but golf is in the forest more or less. Yeah. So I don't know.
Any other people in the forest?
Not that many, no. No.
Yeah.
Anyway,
yeah,
I thought I was the host of the show, but you guys seem to take control of where it's going.
So your ranking was 1 FIDE, 2 Giri, 3 Carlsen?
No, I would probably say Carlsen is leading there because I'm pretty obsessed with chess openings as well.
It's not that
really
you have
ups and
to answer
downs.
Magnus because he's paying you, yeah? This is not...
No, I think more... He's paying me, so I have to provide quality. That's I think that's more how I see it, I would say. The other one gets it for free. Yeah. Anyway, could we maybe move on and start talking about the Grand Chess Tour, where we have moved from Bucharest to Warsaw, and we have moved from classical chess to rapid and blitz, and we have a new surprising, or maybe for some surprising,
we should remind that we are Monday, so the tournament is not yet over, and they played one day.
There is 1 day left, but I think the whole world was stunned with Vishy Anand, the former, I think, 5-time world champion, just starting out with 5 out of 5, right? And basically crushing the field. And while his lead has somewhat diminished, he's still the big favorite going into day 5 of the win.
Yeah, he just crushed the rapid tournament, winning with 1 round to spare. It's not such... I mean, to me, he was always... let's say in the year in the 90s and 2000s, he was always crushing in rapid. And when you get older, you have this. Of course, it's very difficult to keep the tension. I mean, at least for me in classical games, but in rapid, it's possible. So you can have a few good days. I mean, I'm not so. I would be, let's say, if Vishy tomorrow wins. I'm not sure he's playing, but if he wins Norway chess, I will be shocked. Or something like that. But him winning this rapid tournament, I mean, of course, it's a surprise, but it's not shocking because it's so great that okay.
No, I get your point, and it's true that at his best years, he was, winning a lot of classical tournaments, but rapid, he was completely crushing for a while. But then later, well, you could see that age was somewhat taking its toll. And the blitz and rapid somehow seems to become his lesser disciplines, with the exception of he actually won the World Rapid, I think, a bit more than 4 years ago. I remember. So, Jan, want to weigh in on age? Or?
Yeah, I was surprised, but it's nice to see, like, the old dog still showing his class. I was surprised because I thought his results in rapid over the last year, with that exception you mentioned, weren't that good. While in classical you can still live on preparation and class, but it seemed like he didn't care so much about the clock recently in his rapid and blitz games, and even lost some there. So it was nice to see, and yeah, we don't see it often. I think Ivanchuk also won a World Rapid when he was, I don't know if he was in his late 40s or somewhere there. But Vishy is how old? 52? I hope I got that right. To crush a field like that was very inspiring. And hilarious tweet by our dear friend Anish Giri, who said, Vishy retigered. Made me chuckle.
I didn't get it.
You're going after Anish.
Okay.
Wow.
What? I'm praising him for his humor.
Yeah. So you are claiming, Jan, on a regular basis that you are aging better than Peter and myself. So how does that work? I mean, you should tell us.
He's just much younger.
Are we just talking looks or chess?
Both.
No, I think you look incredibly handsome today, so I can't agree on that front. Other than that, well, it's obviously true. Mainly, the trick is not to lose all your rating because you think you're still the same player. And that's easier for people like me who never had any confidence. So I never expect to do well. And I'm always very defensive. And like that, I can defend my rating a little better. Well, you still think it's Mind Games 2012 and you'll crush everyone. And then Father Time tells you, no.
So you think that Vishy...
It's a very good point, actually.
Sorry, yeah, no, but I mean, like, so Vishy,
No.
what is the mindset
I'm the editor of this.
yeah. What's the mindset of Vishy? He just plays, he just goes there, go very relaxed, or does he prepare very well, or how does that work? I mean, I'm not sure. I think he just goes there and doesn't care too much. And
I don't know. Peter will probably know better from what I've seen from Vishy when he plays chess. He will very much care. I'm not sure how much you can prepare for Rapid, but when he plays an official tournament, I think he very much cares.
Yeah. I would guess that he cares less, but again, I mean, when you have been the best player in the world, when you've been the world champion numerous times, I mean, well, you get used to certain standards, and I'm sure that he cares a lot and such. But, well, I mean, at his best, he wasn't used to defeat. At least now, he's gotten used to that, so maybe he appreciates winning even more and is a bit more surprised when it actually happens these days and such. But I mean, this idea of Vishy not taking a chess event seriously or preparing, I think that's not going to happen. You can also see that he's up to speed in openings. He had new ideas and such. He was very interesting to watch. I just wanted to add on this thing that Jan said, because Kasparov in his book wrote about Larsen, that his optimism was a very useful tool on the way up, but of course it also accelerates the fall. And that's exactly the point, that, well, if you're optimism and thinks that you're great, well, it will help you when you are doing well. But if you are very optimistic, but your power seems to start failing you, it can also really hurt you a lot. I think that, well, I'm just trying to add to Jan's point.
Yeah, you're just trying to tell me that I should quit. Yeah. I should just stop playing that.
No, I wasn't thinking about you.
Oh, just embrace being a chicken.
Yeah.
Are there any tournaments, Laurent, while we're on that topic, that you will be playing in the near future?
Yeah, we'll come to that later. I will play first of all, I will play the French League. I will play the Olympiad. I will play the French Championship.
Wow.
So I'm incredibly busy and incredibly enthusiastic about that perspective. So let's see how it goes. A few games in Bundesliga as well. So I will play more in the next 3 months than in the last 3 years. So yeah, I'm not too sure, but yeah, it will be interesting. I will test some of our prep just to annoy Peter and offer a draw when the prep ends, which makes Peter even more sick at me.
I think he's referring to a Bundesliga game with Vishy, but of course there's numerous examples. Well, it's basically, we had one idea, and well, Laurent chooses to play it and then just make a draw immediately afterwards. Well, you could just have forced a draw in any kind of other way and not waste the idea.
Yeah, but I wanted to play.
That was my point.
I'm optimistic, so I wanted to win that game.
No, you didn't
I
want to play
wanted
against
a game.
Vishy.
I mean, like, I just wanted, you play Vishy, it's not every day, so you just want a game,
But what's the point of
But
making
when you accept a draw, move 22, your desire for the game was fulfilled, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, like, we played some moves, like extra moves out of prep. Then there was something to discuss after the game. That was a nice chat, moving the pieces. And yeah, I
but you are just using...
it was my idea. So I mean,
but you are just
it was my prep. I mean, like.
It's not your personal prep, it's prep you have done while being paid, no?
We should stop that conversation.
I mean, it becomes like me saying that this is the factory's product is actually mine because... No, but my point is, well, you are using the prep to make a draw, but just look slightly less embarrassing, right?
No, I'm not like
concept.
going to the game and think, okay...
You're not trying to win.
I'm trying to play, like...
No, but that's rule number 1 of the Chicken Chess Club. You want to draw, of course, but you don't want to force it with white in some well-known line because that looks dumb. So if you have some idea where you're still safe, that's great, of course, and then you can still offer the draw.
Jan is actually right. Yeah. You're both right. I actually agree. Fair enough. Okay. Does that
While we're on the back to the Grand Chess Tour, sorry for the jumping. I noticed Magnus won't be thrilled about this, that Caruana and Aronian are now world number 2 and 3 in blitz. Nakamura is 1, Magnus is down to 4. Caruana wasn't the read on him. He's weak in blitz. Now he's number 3 in the world.
Yeah, but
Weak is
I mean,
strong, I'll say.
Weak is a bit strong. Yes.
yeah, but anyway, I mean, like, no doubt Magnus is a much better blitz player than Fabi, even if Fabi is good, obviously. But it's, this 20. I mean, you play 9 games a day. It's by 20 every game. I mean, like, this coefficient is big, so you make huge difference. And just one bad turn. I remember I had better blitz rating at some point than MVL. I mean, like, which because he played some 2 lousy tournaments, and trust me, MVL is 10 times better than me at blitz. So I mean, this can happen. And the next list, he was world number 1. I mean, like, it's very random, I would say.
You should check my rapid rating if you want to laugh. But yeah. I agree with you. Also, I think on an earlier episode, I praised FIDE for the rating system. This is solely based on the classical rating. I agree that the blitz rating and such, you cannot have that many games and that high coefficient, as Laurent points out, that doesn't work.
Why don't they just make it like in classical? Like, there's still a lot of games, right? You could just have the 5 coefficient, and the list would be a bit more meaningful, no?
I would guess so. Don't ask me. I mean, well, it creates good. No, I would rather say that the problem is a blitz tournament can also have, let's say, 30 games. And then if you play a lot of games with the same rating, you can make incredible jumps. I think, if I remember correctly, if you play 72 games with coefficient 10, it doesn't matter what your start rating is. Your end rating will basically be the same, more or less. So, I mean, these things doesn't work that well, I would say. But I think blitz rating is something we don't take that seriously. I would also add about Caruana and blitz. I remember I spoke with his coach, Carlsen, and there was this sort of prestigious match between Nakamura and Caruana in rapid and blitz with Sinkfield. And everybody thought, of course, Nakamura is the huge favorite. But Caruana won it quite easily. And Kasim was pointing out that, well, Caruana is good. If it's a serious event, he prepares for it. Of course, he can play well. Just normally, he doesn't care too much and such. This idea that he's not good at it is just plainly wrong. Having said that, well, I understand I'm paid to say it, but I still think that Magnus is, of course, by far the best in any discipline.
And yeah, you were praising last time. I remember classical FIDE rating system, and I forgot to contradict you because okay, this inactive stuff. I mean that you don't lose rating if you don't play. Yeah. It's just completely wrong, actually. And I'm not saying that because you didn't play for the last 2 years, but in general, I think you basically, if you play less,
yes,
you lose practice and you lose strength. I mean, it's very, very clear. We know it.
To a certain degree, but still it's also, I mean, it's not 100 points. I mean, there is players who, well, we think, should Kasparov start playing again? He would not be 28-50 perhaps, but he would be pretty good despite having played in 10 years. I mean, that would be different. That would be different in tennis, for instance.
Yeah, you think Kasparov would be still 27-50? I'm not I don't think so.
27-50, but...
I think he...
Okay. Yeah, we will not know.
Yeah,
but, I mean, let's say half a year of inactivity is not necessarily that bad to some extent. Such,
yeah.
That's what I call summer.
Exactly. Yeah, that is true. Okay, we are moving on, and we are going to the.
Just for the record, the USA have the first 3 blitz players in the world now, the top 3, and Wesley So.
Mm-hmm.
And for the record, Kasim, when you were talking to Kasim about his match against Caruana, he is not anymore the coach of
former
coach
yep.
of
okay, he's former coach
of Caruana.
Thanks for correcting me.
Always a pleasure.
Good. Yes.
So Chuchelov, by the way, is the new coach. I'm not even sure. I think Chuchelov, is there now. Who is the new coach?
But they've always been on and off. No, I'm not sure if it's a regular thing. I would guess Chuchelov also has other clients. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he's back in the picture, it looks like.
I think that at least in Weigensee they were there together, if my memory serves me right. Okay, moving on to the next tournament. Anish Giri's stunning victory in the preliminaries, decimating the field with a +8 score and finishing ahead of Magnus Carlsen. Who wrote this?
I don't think you were supposed to read out who wrote this.
Ah, okay. Anyway.
I don't know. It wasn't me, but I'm still stunned. This is the Champions Chess Tour. They played the first 15 rounds, the usual qualifier, and the top 8 moved on to knockouts. So Anish finished first. Magnus finished second. But Magnus, he played some good openings, like one d3, one c3, one h4. Yeah. Clearly your time in Denmark is well used.
That's an interesting topic, but we cannot just leave it as completely normal that Anish won the tournament. I think the previous one, he actually didn't manage to qualify for the...
He didn't win the tournament. He finished first.
He's a qualifier.
No, exactly. He won the qualifier here, right? Sort of oh, you're saying like it, yeah. But actually,
it's not a big surprise.
It's mixed fields. Anish is a pretty strong, solid player, and yeah, I think if things start going his way, he doesn't lose any games. He can certainly crush the lower half of the field on class, and he's very, very hard to beat. So yeah, I don't think it's a huge surprise. He's a little less stable than obviously Magnus, and I would guess also who else always makes it there, like Hikaru probably. These guys, but I wasn't stunned, especially with Magnus, I guess also enjoying himself a bit and probably not trying everything to make first place.
No, to me the main surprise of the qualifier is Ian Tai, who qualified. So I don't know. He used to do poorly in Norway in all these top tournaments, in Vaikanze. 1 year maybe he had a decent result, but in general he's suffering. And to see him ahead of Jordan, ahead of Vidit, Hare Krishna or Shankland, let's say it's not a huge surprise, but I don't know. The odds, I felt the odds were not very, very high. Let's put it this way. That Ian would qualify, but maybe improved. I don't know. I didn't follow him the last.
It was a very close race, and I think he managed to win 4 games in a row and such. And it's possible. He's quite talented, the former world junior champion, and also as Jan said, the field was kind of mixed. I would like to point out the 2 Chinese players also. Well, Ding ended in the top 3, and also Wei Yi was actually leading the tournament, even by quite a margin at some point. But then he fell down a bit, and I think he even ended in fifth place, right? But Wei Yi looked very good in the beginning. Then he had quite some bad moments, I would say.
He was very impressive though at the start. He felt hungry, well prepared, out-calculating people, winning some positional masterpiece against, who was it? Harry, I think. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it was good to see, because he's considered a bit, well, failure is strong, but he was 2700 when he was 16 or whatever. Now he's 22, and he hasn't made that jump to the top 5. So it's good to see a reminder that he's still a fantastic player, and maybe his classical rating also has something to do with not having gotten that many invitations, that many opportunities, not just because of COVID, but also before that. It looked like mainly Ding and Yu Yang Yi were getting the invitations when there were Chinese players. So I'm not sure what happened to Wei Yi, but he looked very strong. Always looks very bored when playing, which I appreciate. So big fan.
Yeah. Also, he did quite well against Ding in this tournaments, where Ding qualified for the candidates, right? But he lost by -1
and 6, but wasn't he?
It's not too bad.
Yeah, but when he was 16, actually, it looked like he would overtake Ding in a few years and be the Chinese number 1. But yeah, he didn't even come close. Actually, I mean, Ding is by far the best player in China. So yeah, he's of course incredibly strong, but still this jump probably not happening. Yeah, this jump in top 5 or something like that. I don't think it's happening.
Difficult getting there, right? Well, Jan was trying to start the other topic about the tournament, which was Magnus' weird openings and such. So what's your take on that, Laurent, as an opening expert?
I know. I think Magnus is just having fun. It's a qualifier, so he doesn't. I mean, he feels that he's going to qualify, which nobody can blame him for that because it's close to. I think Chess by the Numbers gives him 99.8 before every tournament or something like that, chances to qualify for the next stage. So it's just about having fun. You know, trying maybe you had a bet that he will try every legal move on first move, and we are getting close actually to that. I don't know which one he didn't try in let's say in the database. I'm not sure which one actually. I think he tried all of them, no? Knight h3 maybe, or knight a3? Did he try that?
I don't know.
I remember you had this game
but
in Berlin. Actually, you are allowed to play the blitz tournament, but you had a paper and you had to try different openings, which were given
I remember playing against someone
by Magnus. So it's not a huge surprise for me that he thinks that he has some fun trying different stuff. Though it was more funny to see you playing like one a4 and see how it goes.
That's true. Well, I think in one of the interviews in Norwegian television, he said that, well, if you have to play like this, you actually have to be well prepared. So, I mean...
So you do spend your time on 1h4, yeah? Like,
well, I mean, I think you can see it if you pay close attention. I mean, for instance, after f3, e5 in the previous tournament, he plays knight c3, which is the computer move. It's more or less the only way to make it well playable. The same here. Well, you saw his game started h4, and the game continued d5. And then it became, Magnus played d4, c4, e6, knight c3, and now he played c4. So it's basically Taras reverse.
h4, so what was the move?
h4, d5, d4, c5, c3, you mean, yeah?
No, h4, d5, d4, c5. So it's a queen's gambit, just with the pawn on h4. Magnus played e3. And then Wei played knight c6, and Magnus played c4. And now it's just a Taras with the pawn on h4. But you have to remember, in the Taras, very often they play g6 or g3. And now you have the pawn, and you can pounce on that. So you're getting a good Taras because you're blocking the g3 versions, right? So, no, I mean, well, we are talking sophistication here. You can laugh.
So you're praising your own work, yeah? It's your point, yeah?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It's what you do for a living.
Good stuff, Peter.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
I can also reveal
No,
that
we're laughing, but I actually know it to be true that all this nonsense is usually being prepared. So
else it's really dangerous.
Otherwise, it can get out of hand. And yeah, I guess it's a way for Magnus to, I don't know how he thinks, to keep things a little interesting while it's not really a challenge for him to qualify for the knockout stage, right? I'd be surprised if in the knockout, although we'll see today, he went 1h4.
So he's playing Nino. I mean, and also it's 1 day knockout. So you cannot. I mean, like you have to be careful a little bit. Yeah, this is 1 day knockout in quarter and semi-final, and then the final is 2 days. So you can do more. Let's say you can have more fun. But this is 1 day. It's 4 games. If you are -1, it becomes very unpleasant actually.
I do have an opening question for Peter, though. There's all this h4, d3, c3 is fine, but in the first game against Tari, there's e4, e6, d4, d5, knight c3, bishop b4, e5, b6, a3, bishop f8. That's one of the most disgusting positions I've ever seen.
Yeah, but again, you should pay more attention to Norwegian television. He was given an explanation that he played this against Gurevich when he was younger on the white side. And there Gurevich managed to exchange the white squared bishops and put up a structure with the pawn on a4 and b5 and get his knight to c4 and somehow not being in that bad shape. But yeah,
bishop b5 check is like +2. Is the explanation for your prep that Gurevich played this against him?
Vaganian was big expert there.
I'm not allowed to disclose internal disagreements.
Bishop b5 is really easy.
Disagreement.
It's really +2, yeah? Bishop b5.
Depends on what engine, but it's serious. Yeah, bishop b5, c6, bishop
Yeah,
a4.
that's.
I think in these sort of computer tournaments, quite often they put up some bad winner structure to create a situation where it's 50-50 if there's a win or a draw and such. So, I mean, yeah. Well, I don't know what I'm supposed
No,
to
but
say. So I'll just shut
it's
up.
no, but let's face it. This qualifier for Magnus is any piece to any square, and he's going to qualify. I mean, like, it's not a problem. I mean, like, of course, Giri winning the qualifier is, of course, a bit, not so
Generally,
pleasant.
yes, but I think you remember, maybe it was 1 or 2 years back, he had to win on demand against Radjabov to
Against,
qualify.
I
He
think
did
against
it, but
Alireza
still.
as well last round.
My
Yeah.
apologies if so.
And
I
he
mixed
did
up
it, but it was much stronger tournament. I mean, sorry to correct you.
Yeah, I think again it's the. Well, we can all have different opinion on how Magnus is doing things, but overall we have to admit that he's doing quite well. Right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's the takeaway.
So we may have, I guess Play Magnus Group is dreaming of a final between Giri and Magnus, right?
Aren't we
2
all?
days.
I'm not.
2 days of fun, 2 days of Twitter, 2 days of great interviews. Oof. But yeah.
Yeah, I see. I will have to mute myself for that if so. But yeah.
Moving on,
No,
since Laurent mentioned Alireza, I think we should be done giving Peter a hard time and switch to Laurent. So Laurent, is Alireza playing Olympiad?
I don't think. I mean, the list is not yet official, but we won't have the best team. So there is still.
Well, we know you're playing.
I know I'm playing,
but
but I actually I don't know the team. I mean, like, I know some people are not playing, but I mean, it's still conversations going on, and it's not yet decided. I mean, like, I don't know. Next
So
week.
let me try to read your
Please.
comments. That means Alireza is not playing, and then Maxime says, okay, if Alireza is not playing, this is pointless. I also don't want to play. And now you're trying to convince Maxime to play. Just a wild guess.
That's not too bad, yeah.
Thank
Also,
you.
do we fully trust Laurent? Because he's earlier said that when you play for the French team, you actually sign a non-disclosure agreement on certain things. You cannot criticize the federation.
But I didn't disclose
Actually,
anything.
that changed a little bit. That was the quarterly contract, but now they changed it that you have more freedom of speech now, so I can basically say whatever I want, unless I'm insulting people, but I'm not going to do that. I like the new people at the federation, so.
But it's actually a pity that France is not currently the best team, because that would have been exciting.
You'd be like number 3, right? At least.
Yeah, no, that's really
USA, China.
That's.
I mean, I would agree that should you get an Olympic medal, you would overtake me career-wise. That I will give you.
Yeah, this is not happening. I was very excited. I really thought it was the year that it would happen, but it doesn't.
What's the
It
problem?
doesn't seem to be the case. No, but look at Alireza. I mean, if you look at Alireza's schedule, you see.
He hasn't played chess for half a year.
But now he
before
has to
starters.
prepare for candidates. He's playing candidates. Then there is Zagreb Grand Chess Tour. Then there is Sinquefield Cup Grand Chess Tour, and he's hoping that there is a match.
Well, also, you completely fell into Jan's trick. You said you couldn't reveal anything, then he said...
It's pretty obvious that if I'm so sad and that the team is not complete, that... Yeah, and he's extremely busy actually, and it's a long trip, and okay. So French team won't be at his top and probably not playing for medals. But good news is that the world champion will take part in the Olympiad.
Well, I would say that the world champion would take part is not such a big surprise for me for Norway. The real surprise is actually that, I would have to sadly say that the winner of the Fantasy Grandmaster League, Jon Ludvig Hammer, is also playing for Norway. So Norway is coming with a top 5 team, as far as I understand. This is maybe the first time ever, and I think Hammer has actually been more absent from the team than Magnus, right?
Really?
But anyway, you probably want to talk about the world champion. That's fair.
No,
enough,
but
so
in
go ahead.
2000, so the best result of Norway was fifth in 2016, if I remember well. And
Yes.
I think the team there was kind of,
Maybe that was very identical
yeah,
in a way.
I think it was. I know,
There's some more depth now as well, no? Like with Arjan being a stable
Exactly.
2650 player. Like, that'd be
West
good.
Christiansen,
No, the
yeah?
team is, I think, 1 Magnus Carlsen, 2 Arjan Tari, 3 Jon Ludvig Hammer, 4 is it Johan Sebastian Christiansen, and 5 Frode Åkerdal. I'm not
Yeah.
completely sure about the order of the last 2, but it's a serious team. I mean, that is very interesting. And
Can Urkedal still jump incredibly highly while standing still?
I don't know.
I think he's an incredible leaper.
Yeah, well, Frode Åkerdal might not look that strong physically, but he really is. I was the team captain of Norway at some point at a European thing, and I think the story was that he got into a bad neighborhood, and then a couple of guys attacked him. But I think he has maybe he was a recruit in the army or something like this. But basically, he just whooped their ass, and they had to retreat despite being more than him and such. He's a tough guy. Yeah, just it's another. Well, I mean, as a chicken, you should never get into a fight, but definitely don't do it against Åkerdal. It's a recommendation you can take.
Noted.
And so the big favorites for Olympiad, I guess it's US team. Do we know the lineup? Or do you have some info?
No.
Was Hikaru? Hikaru was not playing, right? I'm not sure if that's official, but
Really?
I heard something.
Okay.
What they have anyway?
So
But even without Hikaru, they wouldn't be bad, no? Like if it's Caruana, Wesley, is Levon eligible?
Yeah, it's eligible already. Yeah.
I really think
Dominguez, and then Sam, or like it's not a bad team.
No, it's they would basically be the clear favorites as far as I understand. Oh, of course, China. I forgot. Sorry, China is always a serious.
China is
contender.
always
And
there.
India. I mean, like,
Yeah, so-
No, but
India
their first
is-
team, at least on paper, is much weaker. It's not all the kids.
Yeah.
It's Hare Krishna, Vidit, Narayanan, Erigaisi, and Sashi, I think. Like they're a great team, of course,
okay,
but
yeah.
very different on rating.
and they will miss their best player, who's actually playing awfully well these days.
Yeah, their rating average is 2680, while the others are 2780, right? It's different.
Yeah. No, if India gets a medal, I think it's a huge achievement for them. Winning is probably asking too much.
I still can't believe they didn't put all the kids in one
Yeah.
team. Like you have to
Yeah,
go
it's
with
funny. Yeah.
with Gukesh, Nihal, Pragnananda,
course.
Erigaisi, and then
It's very
find
scary
one
actually
more
for
kid.
the other teams. I mean, to play
Or Vidit.
all these kids. I mean, like in one.
Yeah, you'd
Yeah.
hate it.
I mean, I really don't want to play them.
No, I think we did it in the 2000. I think it was 1994 Olympiad in Moscow. Then there was 2 Russian teams, and one of them was Russia who won, but the second one was Russia too. He was young players. I think Morosevic, Sakaev, and so on. And at some point, I think Russia too was actually leading. Then they dropped a bit down, and but they were close to the medals and such.
Yeah, in 2010 as well. No, whenever it's in Russia, there's gonna be.
Yeah. No, it makes sense to do that. But again, maybe, we shouldn't meddle with chess politics, right?
So the great news is, I'll meet Laurent in Chennai.
Yeah.
And I'll meet Peter in Stavanger next week.
Yeah.
We'll have so much time to trash talk whoever is not there.
Exactly.
So you are just making
Yeah,
sure you are
no.
everywhere. Yeah, you are traveling a lot these days.
I'm telling you, I'm desperately taking any job I can get. I'm a chess professional, podcaster, doing all the great stuff.
You should come to the.
I'm not sure if we
You
can call
should
this a
come to
job.
the last weekend of Bundesliga, Peter. We can all meet there.
I promise you, I have written my team captain that I'm ready, but so far no response. So
That was.
I even made a note that the sooner I will know, the better.
Yeah, but that's.
Well, what
you
else
are
can I
not the
do?
only one to make that note, I think.
No. So,
Is it time for the big topic?
do we have any
Topic
other Olympic?
everyone's been waiting for.
Carlsen, yeah. Okay. What's wrong with FIDE this week, Peter? Well, of interesting news is that it actually started pouring in with new candidates for the election. First, it was Inal Sharipov who joined with a ticket where I think he has N. Cooper as his deputy. And Sharipov is a Belgian citizen, but a former, from Grozny. He's not that well known in chess world, at least not to me. I think he's appeared before on Kirsten's ticket for the 2018 election. But, that ticket didn't end up running and such. I don't know if any of you...
That's the first time I hear his
Sharipov
name. I mean, like...
He's not a household name like Barish Polets.
Yeah.
Exactly. No spoilers, please. But,
Sorry, this is your segment. Just to set the table, we're talking about the FIDE elections, the World Chess Federation, which is in... What's the date, Peter? June 7th?
June 7th is the deadline for listing. And right now there has been 4 candidates listed. Of course, the incumbent president who is running for re-election, Arkady Dvorkovich from Russia. Then the first challenger was Fumei from Togo. And now Inal Sharipov from Belgium, as well as Andriy Barish Polets from Ukraine has challenged him. And Barish Polets...
he's American, no?
He's not... he's living in America, and he has his... I think he studies in Texas and has a job there, but he's representing Ukraine, and
okay.
He's from there and such. And, he is going for less Russian influence, less zero tolerance to corruption, and full transparency. I'm a big fan.
I read the letter and I thought, okay, that's Peter's guy. Yeah, that's clear.
Yeah.
Did you write the letter, Peter?
No, I didn't write the letter. But I can only say that I fully agree with, which perhaps is maybe not the best sign for him, but I think. On the contrary, there is a guy who stands for principles, and I'm a fan of that. But
so the guy, he's a grandmaster. He's 31 years old, and frankly, this is, as usual, my ignorance. I had never heard of him. Is he very connected in the chess world? Like, I'm a bit worried. While I'm sure it will be a good story, and the values sound great. That. I'm not sure what's behind that, like financially and team-wise and connections-wise and so on.
I think he says he's very independent and will do things differently than it has been usual and such. But
will you be on the ticket, Peter?
I would generally love to support a guy like that, but if he wants someone who will criticize any kind of slightly wrong move, at least that would be a brave step, at least that will show commitment to it, I would say.
Also, once he's in charge, will you give him like a grace period of 100 days, or will you go after him instantly?
Sorry, it's not how it works, right?
No breaks.
No. So, but I don't think he's the actual favorite, at least from what I hear. I think that people are expecting a big fight between Dvorkovich and Sharipov, but I don't know what you guys are hearing.
I don't hear.
I hear nothing for lack of following the topic.
I mean, to be honest,
okay.
I mean, like I was expecting, like from outside, Dvorkovich to be re-elected, like to have a smooth re-election, actually. But maybe I could be wrong. I don't know.
I'm not sure, like, obviously the Dvorkovich team is by far the most connected. I can't judge how strong the sentiment is, which we've also talked about on this podcast, that right now it's just impossible to support a Russian candidate, which, I don't know, many delegates might feel that way. And then
but it's not on...
When it comes to business as usual, of course.
We just forgot. I mean, like, we spoke about it last time, but we spoke a lot about Anand the player, and now we have Anand the politician. Vishy is deputy president on Dvorkovich ticket. He's also a great ambassador in India. I mean, Vishy is very impressive, actually. Like, he's everywhere. So I think the image of Vishy is really great for Dvorkovich. I mean, he's a great choice for deputy president for the re-election. So I don't know. I would expect that, but I have, of course, no clue. And how can you know? I mean.
I agree with you there. I note down one point that basically none of those neither Dvorkovich nor his whole team, the same with Sharipov, has made basically any kind of political statements. Basically, they have said we're going to run, and that's it. Barish Polets made at least some kind of program. But again, I will keep praising him because he stands for the things he stands for and such. But the general point is that everybody who's running there, not only the candidates but also the guys on the ticket, has basically said nothing. And this is a bit, I think, quite different from last time, but that was actually a very active campaign. So far, it's just basically silent. I think somehow, maybe it's the Russia things that people would like to tone down or something like that. I don't know, but well, I cannot find anyone who's saying anything actively at the moment.
Maybe they studied German elections. That's how our boy Olaf Scholz is doing it.
And
Okay.
is there a website or something?
Yeah,
I mean, like Djokovic's team?
I don't think
mean,
so.
If you don't think so,
No,
they
I think
probably
also.
don't.
Well, no, I mean, well, not even don't they have a website, but they've also deleted the
But they had a
previous
thumbnail,
website.
no, with like
Yeah.
the 5 people on it.
Yeah, I mean exactly. They have put up a picture of the guys. Who's
No,
gonna
maybe
be-
if I would be in Djokovic's shoes, of course, I'm very far from that. I mean, I would think, okay, I have this guy, Vishy. He's a guy 5 times world champion, very respected. I mean, like, very liked by chess professionals and chess amateurs as well. So I think you just put Vishy there and you just cruise. I mean, that would be my my hunch.
Oh, that was my job for 8 years, right? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's probably the strategy.
No, I think some is saying that in politics that if you have a winning position, just shut up. But I don't know if they have a winning position. I mean, but no. Also, as Jan keeps saying, 7th of June is the deadline. Then there is like a 2-month election period. Maybe things tend to heat up at some point. You know, people will get provoked, or things will.
Oh,
start
they
happening.
will hit up at in Chennai maybe during the Olympiad.
Maybe as well, but hopefully there will be some. Well, hopefully for us who thinks chess politics is important and interesting, there will be things even before that. In a way, at the actual
We'll
places.
be your eyes on the
Yeah.
ground, Peter, in Chennai.
Yeah.
If we see any envelopes, we will instantly send you the pictures.
That's I know you. That's what
Unless
you will
it's
do.
for us.
Yeah. yes, exactly.
And we do hope we get something.
Fair point.
Yeah. Yes, that's
I'm
true.
googling Sharipov. His short films have won numerous awards at festivals. Short film White Film was awarded Best Film at the Monaco and Naples festivals.
Are you sure it's the same?
Sounds cool.
The same.
Yeah, no, I've also checked. I don't have to say it. Of course, I've checked it as well. I mean, and such. So no, it's also. I mean, I think some of you guys was mentioning that the 5th candidate might also materialize, right? But
think it's-
I honestly, I'm not that well connected in the world of chess politics.
No, I think the ones we were hinting at have materialized by now. There was when
okay,
I was
okay.
only Dvorkovich and Fume.
Fair enough.
But I also don't know much.
Then also, if we have to, step a bit aside from the sort of actual elections, but still within the realm of politics, then the famous Ukrainians, Belyavsky and Michal Sishin, we know them for doing books on endgames together, for instance, and such, but of course also individual careers, both as players and coaches and such.
Head of
They
the
made-
FIDE trainer commission, no? You must have had a lot of good feedback for Michal Sishin.
Yeah, exactly.
The FIDE trainer commission is headed by Mikhail Kobalya.
Wasn't Michal
Yeah,
Sishin in
it
charge
was.
of that?
It was for sure.
It's a very long time ago. It's been...
I wouldn't think so.
For 5
Maybe it
years.
was second in command, I'm not sure. Yeah.
yeah, but no, that's
Kobalya.
Kobalya. I mean,
No, I meant Michal Sishin.
And I think actually, FIDE at some point asked me if I was interested of being that, and I thought in cooperative spirit, I said, well, maybe I could be that, but make up your mind if you actually would like me to be it. And then they made up their mind and said, no, we don't want you to be it. And I thought, okay, well, thanks for asking. But,
They need you on the ethics committee. Will
yeah,
be great
that's
fun.
that's
Great
the dream.
debates.
You're not the only one
Are
mentioning
you
that. And
Are
I
you
get
sure it's?
But the others might be serious.
You told us real conversation because it's a bit weird, yeah, to offer you to be the head of training committee, and
Yeah,
I mean you are. Well, we're missing some details.
Well, I think the one asking me didn't have a sort of full mandate to just, he had to suggest someone and such. On the subject of me being on the ethics committee, I have to remind you that I have 11 years of practice working in Danish court system as a layman judge. So I think actually I wouldn't be the worst candidate there, to be honest.
What you think?
No, I'd very much enjoy it.
Yeah. I think that would be good and fair, but anyway, my hunch is we will never know.
I think we should also have Laurent. It should be a package deal. You should both be on there.
We are a team, Peter. Don't look like that. Yeah, that would be nice.
I think that then we would have a split decision rather.
You need
anyway.
a guy who is like a fair guy and a co-opted guy. So I would be I would be the co-opted guy. We would make a great team.
Anyway, I think we interrupted you on Belyavsky, Michal Chishin.
Exactly. Belyavsky and Chishin actually are kind of more serious. And they want to have the Russian Chess Federation expelled from FIDE. And basically is pointing to Shoigu and Peshkov being in the leadership and being, in their opinion, war criminals and such. Well, I obviously typically share the most aggressive point of view, so I agree with that. But I don't think it's going to come that far. But no, it's clear that some is making that point of view and such. So just saying that things could start heating up, but of course also it is a legitimate decision, and it's not raised by someone without a brand or reputation. I mean, Belyavsky, for instance, was the head of the World Champions Chief Appeal Committee in 2018 under the current leadership and such. But they made a very strong statement asking for.
Yeah, no, of course, Belyavsky was one of the strongest players in the world. I mean, like former candidates, he played a match with Kasparov. So clearly and well-respected grandmaster now playing for Slovenia, but of course Belyavsky and Michal Chishin are they grew up together. I know I have these stories from Josef Dorfman. They grew up together in the same city, Belyavsky, Dorfman, and Michal Chishin. From Lviv. They grew up together. They trained together, so they know each other for forever. Basically, I don't know where they live actually. If they still live in Ukraine or not.
Michal Chishin is still in Lviv, okay. I think Belyavsky lives somewhere else, but I'm not 100% sure.
And they're both representing Slovenia, actually. I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
That.
Actually, I lost the game to Michal Chishin when he was representing Slovenia, so I don't know if it's still the case, but it's very likely.
No, but I think as sort of persons and individuals, they're very much
of course.
Ukrainians and such.
Yeah, as for the sentiment, okay, whenever we're on this topic, we keep sort of going in circles. I find it very understandable, especially if I was Ukrainian or had Ukrainian roots, I'd certainly feel that way while my country is being destroyed. And yeah, I'm not sure, I haven't thought through if I agree with it, but yeah, I think it's a very natural thing to demand right now. The question is, which is also when it comes to German politics, probably some people are also thinking beyond the war, it doesn't make sense to exclude Russians for anything now, while others have the approach, let's have the harshest sanctions we can think of now and then see how the world looks in the future. In practice, how much difference does it make? Like Russia is already not playing the Olympiad and the players could just play under FIDE flag. No, I understand it's not that easy, but
I think this one is mainly gunning at the federation. That, for instance, they will lose their voting rights. They will lose the right to appear at the General Assembly and such. And also, well, I mean, we're talking about Russians in general, but the Russian Chess Federation is actually represented by Dmitry Peskov, who is Putin's spokesperson, and I think Gennady Shoigu, who is the head of the army. I mean, it's just not random guys. That is a very legitimate point, that as long as people like this is legally and officially representing them, we can't have them. That point of view.
And is Russia nominating Djokovic?
No.
Who is nominating Djokovic?
At least they're not among the list of countries nominating him, as far as I remember. I think it's from Europe, it's Cyprus and Montenegro. And I've forgotten some of the others. Probably India as well, if I remember correctly. But don't sort of, force me to Google it. So, well, I think today someone was making the point that FIDE is congratulating Karpov, which they just stripped of his things on his birthday. I think it was my former countryman Jakob Ogor who was pointing that out. But I don't know. Well, Karpov was the world champion and it's his birthday. That is a fact. If we should completely strip him of... Well, maybe... I don't know if one can do with like Fischer, that we sort of... we don't want to associate ourselves with the person, but we still take them as part of our chess history.
I mean, it's a fact. I mean, it's part of chess history.
That is difficult, yeah. But if we should officially congratulate him with his birthday, I don't know. I haven't thought much about that, to be honest.
So you brought it up just to not congratulate him on his birthday?
No, I brought it up because I think it's my job to raise interesting and principled questions here and get your expert opinions on it. While I'm a bit biased because, I don't know.
So you are not going to. You don't want to congratulate him.
I don't have much touch with Karpov. I mean, I played a draw with him in Blitz once, but else not really. I think. Yeah, I don't know. We're not sort of recently speaking greetings.
No, the debate is always. Peter says, "Guys, are you with me condemning any Russian?" And then we sort of give a vague half answer, right? I think this is what we do every episode. I don't know enough about Karpov's political career. Obviously, he's a great champion.
It's not every Russian.
No, actually, this is a bit important for me, Laurent. Karpov I want to condemn because he's actually voted for certain things in the Russian Duma. He has responsibility. I'm not condemning any Russian. There's a lot of Russians I have sympathy for.
Sorry, I shouldn't have said like that.
No, I will say that I might want to sanction all Russians. That's completely different. Condemning and sanction is different. Sanctions might be necessary to make sure that Russia doesn't rebuild financially and things like this, to do a next wave of attacks, things like that. Condemning, just so I don't condemn all Russians, but I might be in favor of sanctioning them.
No, I apologize. Actually, that's not a topic I should be joking about. I didn't mean that.
No, but it's not. Actually, Karpov has a different. Of course, he's much.
Karpov is different. He's sanctioned and for good reasons. So there's nothing to say there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, maybe we had enough of chess politics, if possible.
Ready?
Then we are scrolling down, and we are actually getting to the stage of one of our favorite topics, which is called questions.
Wow.
And we have Ben Johnson. I would say maybe a podcast colleague, but maybe that's putting us into higher league in a way. So anyway, his question is: do Laurent and Peter feel the quality of the podcast is compromised because Jan is not a former Siegerman chess tournament champion? No.
Thank you, Peter. Yes. First of all, have we established that Laurent actually won Siegerman?
No. Sure, no. Peter wasn't sure. Like he was trying to be modest.
Peter
he
wasn't
said,
sure.
Like maybe I won Siegerman, and like when I say, but did you win it or not? This is the kind of thing you remember. And he said, yes, I won.
I had better tiebreaks.
No, but clearly Ben from Perpetual Chess, he's trying to break us apart by producing.
Well, to be fair,
such heated debates.
Jan never had the chance to win it, right?
No, I think. And once again, I'd have to go back, check very old emails. I once got invited, but being the reliable email answerer that I am, I needed 2-3 days. And then I got another email saying, you didn't get back, I will now invite some other GM.
Wow.
Which is fair enough.
So 2-3 days.
So
actually, it takes some
maybe
class
there
for
was
them
a small window for me where I had a chance
to inform you of that. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. But I don't know. I think Jan has other qualities than winning the Siegerman tournament, so I think not
the
really.
Two-time Bangkok Chess Club champion you're throwing under the bus, Ben Johnson. What have you won?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, well, if there was a best chess postcard of the year, he might have, but it doesn't exist. So yeah, I don't know. Well, I'm pretty sure. Well, Fress asked me if I'm sure I won. Yes, I'm sure I won in Siegerman. I won on tiebreak. I'm actually very good at winning on tiebreak. I also won the Skanderborg tournament. I think we were 4-player sharing first. Maybe even Nigel Short was one of it. But I won it on tiebreak. And I especially remember that based on our number in the tournament, we got bigger and bigger champagne bottles. So I got the biggest one. And despite Short actually very much trying to cover himself, I managed to shoot it up in the ceiling and down in Short's eye afterwards. So maybe that's where our friendship sort of slid a bit apart.
Wow.
Not actually. But no, I have won quite some tournaments. I think also in Drammen I won on tiebreak. No, I mean, this is my specialty.
Very impressive.
That's very interesting. Let's
Thanks.
move on to Matschbrötchen, who's saying, which one of the top 100 players can drink the most amount of beer? Very German question. Who drinks.
Are
the
we
most
talking
beer.
just pure
that's why
quantity,
you are-
or sort of who can drink a lot without being drunk?
I would guess it's pure quantity. You're allowed to be drunk. I'm studying the list now. The thing is, with this new chess generation, it's not like the old days. Guys aren't out there drinking beer every day. No, they're just in their room, like on their computers. And then you have the French team, all of them are wasted alone in the lobby. So,
No, it's not true.
Disclaimer:
really-
I didn't drink a lot of beers in my youth while playing chess. But
everyone but Peter
I
drank a
would,
lot of beer in Peter's youth.
Gitschuk?
is he
Can he?
drinking
Is
beer?
he? Is he drinking
No,
beer?
beer, I
a
don't
lot?
think.
I've never
Yeah,
seen that.
beer is not his type.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, no, it's hard to say. Many people are not drinking. Actually, you're right.
I have seen pictures of Moussa and Fressinet with beers in their hand, and as only one of them is in top 100, I will have to go for him.
Fake
Sure.
beers. Yeah, I don't know how much, but
okay.
anyway, beers. I mean, it's not part of our culture. You know, we don't drink much beers.
Maybe not. You're right.
I don't know in which countries they drink beers. I mean,
I'm
mainly
also
Germany,
not sure that
actually.
Yeah, let's check the list for Germans in the
Blue
top
Baum,
100.
maybe.
Blue Baum, no, I don't think he can drink the most beers. Chimera, I have my doubts. Svanen, no, I think this will not be a heavy drinking German Olympic team. Which will be new for me.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
you enjoyed the.
Also,
So
it has to be.
we still don't have an answer.
We cannot go back like 35 years.
I think every
About
second.
Mamed Yarov, I could see Mamed Yarov being good at drinking beer. I don't know if he
maybe.
does. But he looks like he'd be good at it.
Okay, let's go with Mamedov. Yeah.
I don't know. I think that's. It's like a sort of character assault without any kind of sort of firm ground. But
Fair enough. Can you assault somebody else's character then? We need a pick.
yeah, I chose Moussa, but it apparently was a fake picture. But still, I think being in the French team somehow, I don't know. It is.
I'm honestly not aware of any like even regular or heavy beer
Yeah, that's
drinker
true. Yeah, that's true.
in the top 100 going through the list. Like you never see anybody just sitting in some bar
No,
chucking away beers from
That's
these
true.
guys.
damn it, that's all.
Maybe let's go with David Howell. No. He's the kind of guy you can see
How do you
after the
pronounce
game
it?
at the pub, and I mean British guys, they generally go to the pub after the game and have a drink.
Wow.
I mean,
Imagine if that statement was made about French guys. Like
Yeah,
Laurent
that
would be
is-
up in
okay.
arms.
Okay,
no, you can see them.
nice stereotype, but fair enough. Okay. Well, maybe
Yeah,
let's
but
leave it at
I
that.
mean,
and
I
then
know about
they
that
can,
because
can
I'm
sue
also
us.
there. I mean, like it's. I mean, how can you know about that if you're not there? I mean,
No, you just don't drink beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the debate here.
exactly.
Yeah, I think.
Chess Pachala is saying, good question. Why does he need seconds? Is PH Chess working on 1H4 opening files? That one we've answered already. I also saw a lot of comments. There was this video, this behind the scenes video from the training camp. Like, LOL, it looks like he's training them. Which, to some extent, I guess it's true. But I'm also surprised that people just now found out that Magnus might be better at chess than us. Like, training is not exactly telling him, you know, Magnus the horsey, if you move it aggressively, you can really put pressure. It's more generating files and helping with the directions noticed. And then, yeah, serving as a sparrings partner. But it's not too surprising to me that Magnus would be right in a debate about a position with anybody after that. So I was surprised by that, but maybe it's also this notion
Yeah.
of trainer in chess is so particular. Maybe Peter can elaborate a bit. Because obviously Roger Federer's trainer, who's also a great chess player, by the way, is crushing Federer in tennis. So chess is a bit of an exception there.
How is
Hello?
your internet,
Hello?
Peter?
To be honest, my best guess is that my boss just started watching basketball on the same connection, and that somehow seems to take all the bandwidth. I don't have a particularly good reason to.
Can you hear
solve
us?
that.
I can spoil the result, and he's done with it.
No, yeah, no, that would be be breaching my contract and something that actually matters. And so no, I don't know what you guys said about H4, but that we will take lightly. But sort of spoiling basketball results, that's just a no-go.
No, how would you define your job? Like, you are not, like, you think a trainer or a coach is a good definition, or just advisor, or second?
Trainer is different. I think also what people get wrong at times is that, well, I spoke with some football coach about it, that they think a trainer is like an instructor, and we are really not like that. When you do with the best ones, we're not telling them. I'm trying to. Well, also it's an individual sport, so it's not like football or not like Jan, let's say, within a Bundes team, where he will just tell you do this, you do that. No, with us, it's the player who has the sort of mental capacity and who's the one in charge. So I'm trying to help him to do the things he wants and to try that he can feel as comfortable or as less uncomfortable as possible in that sense. So I mean, that might include losing to him in paddle or looking at H4 or. I mean, caring about football and all kind of things, which all luckily comes very natural to me. But I mean, and of course, I also do a lot of chess research. I look at openings, I look at computer developments, all this kind of stuff. So you have to be into these details. But it's not comparable to
also,
what. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Please interrupt.
No, just I think what people sometimes don't understand, that preparing for chess openings for individual opponents is just a lot of work. And if you're a world-class player, then ideally you don't want to expend all that energy before a game or the night before a game. So if you have people who are qualified doing these files and give you a summary of here's the stuff you need to know for today, that just helps. It doesn't mean that he couldn't, or any world-class player couldn't do the work himself. They certainly can. But also people like us who are slightly weaker nowadays with very strong engines can do that work on a very decent basis. And then ideally, depending on the dynamic you have, explain to your boss what he needs to know there and also find directions that you think he's comfortable with. So it's basically also a time saver, I would say.
Very much, and time and energy saver for sure. I mean, things that you can outsource, you try to outsource. And also, well, we are so good that we can have a meaningful conversation with him about chess. But of course, we're not at his level that we can sort of tell him, do this, do that in a way. So he's trying to find some sparring partners who is capable of working on their own in a way, is my impression. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Tales from
That's
the
the questions for today?
Yeah.
Yeah, tales from the training camps.
I remember, we were talking about, big news from Paris is Mbappé. Mbappé staying in the club in Paris, which makes, I guess, Magnus not so happy because he's a big Real Madrid fan, and he immediately reminded me this match we watched together in a training camp in Palanga, actually when it was a World Cup final. So I'm so professional, I couldn't believe it. Actually, the final of World Cup, I watched it from Lithuania in some bar with Peter and his friends. His Lithuanian friends rooting against France. It was not rooting for Croatia, it was mainly rooting against France. Accusing France to cheat because we got a penalty.
Got a very weak penalty, yeah.
By being the referee.
Anyway, but I think the story that connects with chess and training camps is PSG, right? And I think you are right that everyone in Real Madrid now feels incredibly betrayed by Mbappé, who probably used these negotiations as leverage to make a deal with a better deal with PSG. And at the same time, Madrid might have to turn down other options. They are mentioning Holland as one, for instance. But I think that the thing that connects with training camps, I think, was that when we were in Qatar and also one other place, I mean, I think it became a tradition that we would watch PSG completely bust out in flames from the Champions League. And me and Magnus would have great fun with that, while Laurent, I mean, you could see that it really matters to him and he thinks that this is going to be easy and such, and they're just going to, well, we know the history of PSG in the Champions League, right? That it's, there's a number of humiliating stories.
Yeah,
right?
But we didn't.
I always enjoy it when we know, because of course we know that Laurent, sometimes he can't watch it in real time, so since he's a big fan, he has to catch up on the match. So obviously, we Google the result before it. And then we tease him with it, like we give hints on the result, but we don't tell him exactly, and we lie to him if he asks if we know the result or not. So it was great fun when PSG had played 0-0 the night before, and Laurent, I think, was trying to catch up with the game on a rest day, and we were in his giant suite. Yeah, and we could keep telling him, don't expect any goals anytime soon. But do you know it's 0-0? No, we don't know. Just don't get your hopes up. Like it's very enjoyable for me. Like, yeah, Laurent provides a lot of the joy in my life.
Good feel. No, but I remember. I mean, I don't have these memories that we watch Paris together. I mean, not important matches like against Barcelona.
Twice.
We didn't actually watch that together.
No, this one we didn't.
No,
but the earlier matches, you can check the dates. Well, you go and check your flight tickets and compare them with the Paris busting out.
I clearly remember that bar in Palanga where we watched the World Cup final and your face, and I was trying not to look too happy actually because it was serious in the bar. Like they were really rooting for Croatia, and I didn't know to which extent, so I couldn't. I had to restrain myself.
Actually, I think even Magnus in Weigensee, he was in Amsterdam one day, and he bought me a PSG shirt. He said that, worried when you make videos with Fress, he will make him happy.
Yeah.
But I managed to forget it in my room, and I was a bit embarrassed. So I ended up having to actually buy one and get it sort of sent to Jan's apartment, who could then bring it for our shows when we were filming together and such. So, I mean, I've actually spent money in the PSG shop, so you shouldn't be too upset with me when I'm teasing you with that. But anyway, that's what we do on training
camp.
One
thing I like about your football fandom is that Kylian Mbappe song. Because usually we have difficulties finding music that we all enjoy, like Daniel and I, and Jordan to some extent, we usually like English hip-hop, R&B, and Laurent likes French chansons. So it's not easy. But in Thailand, during the match, we had this one song, Kylian Mbappe. The lyrics are something like, World champion, Kylian Mbappe, world champion, Kylian Mbappe, world champion, Kylian Mbappe. And we heard it like 8,000 times, I believe. And no one ever got sick of it.
Jordan was a major fan, I think. I think he's still...
Yeah,
but we all liked it for
it was nice, yeah.
And there's always this punchline at the end of the song, N'Golo Kante, which always catches me.
This is another song, actually. It's two songs.
It's another one.
One is really, I mean, it's world champion Kylian Mbappe, and that's it. I mean, like, it's, they're singing it in a different way, but they're singing, I mean, it's the four words you have into the song. I mean, which is a bit weird, but yeah, okay. It was,
Check it out.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I should tweet it, actually. I missed that song.
Yeah. Maybe we should have a Chicken Chess Club playlist somewhere on Spotify. But, Anyway, perhaps moving on to the probably last subject of the week, called the Chickens of the Week, where we each have to nominate some chickens. Who's want to start, or should it be me?
I'll start. I'll take Ali Reza for chickening out from the Olympiad, bringing Laurent his well-deserved medal.
Come on.
And the chain reaction, now Maxime might not play, and you can't let down the French national team that's been so close like that.
I'm shocked. Why did I say that? I mean, I gave you some perfect spot. So I will let you the last word, Peter. I will nominate Radjabov. Why we didn't hear about Radjabov for a long time? He didn't play for a long time. But in general, I didn't have. I didn't have any idea. I mean, like, of course, I could nominate one of my countrymen, but I don't do such. And for me, is a perfect definition of chicken. In general, that the guy is incredibly strong, but he's so scared, or is something, he's trying to make a draw, not playing because it's too dangerous, and so on. He will play next week in Norway Chess, and I'm sure he will find a way to to make a bunch of those. So that was Radjabov because he didn't play for a very long time, and he's a perfect definition in my opinion.
So for you, it's not so much what happened during the last week, but you'll just introduce us to a new chicken every week.
Maybe. If I don't have a chicken for the last week,
it's a valid approach as well. Yeah.
No, I mean, like I felt
it's very fine with me.
It's already the 6th episode, and we didn't mention Radjabov. which in my opinion is
that's a very fair point.
like the same level than Giri, and I already mentioned Giri. Photo.
No, I think it's a very different level because Giri.
They are both Hall of Famers, yeah.
No,
So,
it's the same level.
okay, well, mine is probably not a surprise, but I'm gonna sort of nominate let's say the FIDE leadership, or those running for the presidency, or their tickets, who basically just announced that they're running, but don't tell us why, or don't show up for interviews or things like that. I think that when you want to have office, you should also tell us why.
So you're calling Vishy a chicken?
That's a good point. I think the answer will have to be yes.
Wow. Sorry, I'm just trying to stir up trouble, but yeah.
Yeah, I know. Please don't tell him, okay? But,
No. I'm sure he's listening. Vishy, greetings. Big fans, you know that.
So that's it. Okay, any prediction for next week's? Who's going to win some tournaments? Or are we just going to leave it here? Is Fresh still going to be on holiday?
Yeah, no, Magnus will win the Champion Chess Tour.
Awesome.
And Stavanger. I'll meet you guys in Stavanger. Can't wait.
Some of us, yeah? Me.
Magnus and you.
That's true. Fair enough. And such, that's true. And I think Vishy is going to win
That I'm not sure.
the
The blitz portion,
No,
I'm a bit.
I'm sure that I think so.
He can have a very bad day.
Fabio
Yeah.
is catching up now.
I understand.
Yeah,
It's going to be
let's
close.
see.
But, let's see. Good. Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure, and thanks for keeping good order during my show here.
Thank you so much for hosting the show and everything else that you do, Peter. It's been a great pleasure. See you guys next week. Thanks for listening.